Guys, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. This is a quick one, so I'm just going to do it real quick and we will be good to go. Exams are starting tomorrow. Final exams for the first semester for 2021-2022 academic year. And this video actually is not meant for just the exams that are starting tomorrow. But if you happen to be preparing for exams on University of Ghana campus, possibly if that's the first time you're writing exams, that's the level 100, you should know these important things, and that is what I'm going to talk about in this video. The first thing you need to do is you have to get to the examination hall 30 minutes before time. I know as you progress, like you get to level 300, 400, you may think that the 30 minutes is not necessary. It may not really be exactly 30 minutes, but then at least give yourself enough time to get to the examination hall. So if your paper is at 7:30, you need to be at the examination venue at 7 o'clock. If your paper is at 11:30, be there at 11. If it's at 3:30, be there at 3. And it is, you may not be bound by it. Like as I said, if you get to 300, 400, you may decide to get there late or even get there at 3:30, 7:30 or 11:30. But the important thing in doing this is when you get there, you have to sit by your ID. You don't just sit anywhere when you get to the examination hall. I know you know this already. When you get there, you have to sit by your ID. And you know the examination hall is very large. It has a large size. Most of the classes, JQB, GCB has large sizes. So you will have to go there and look for your ID, like where your ID has been written. Look for the seat on which you have your ID so that you'll be able to sit on. So let's just assume you get there at 11 o'clock. You have enough time to look for your ID. Just know that this is where I will be seated, and you can definitely come out and come in, let's say 10 minutes to time. But it's best if you are ready, if you are sure you are ready, just you find your ID, sit down. But then in a situation where you get there at 11:30, everybody is seated, the people are started. How are you going to find your ID? Charlie, don't put yourself in a situation where you may waste time in the time you need to be using for answering your question. You waste it by using it to look for your ID, because no invigilator is going to let you sit by someone's ID or at anywhere when your ID has been written on a seat. And one important thing to note, do not get to the examination hall 30 minutes after the exams. If you go to the examination hall 30 minutes after the exams have started, you will not be allowed to write. So you will not even be allowed to enter. That's the university policy or rules on examination. So the paper is 7:30. You either get there 30 minutes before the examination or early or later before the examination starts. When the examination starts and you decide to get there at 12:10 or even 12:01, you may not be allowed to write the exams, and that means you have to reset the course, pay another fees and reset the course again. And I think somewhere last 2 weeks, I was invigilating for IA, that's interim assessment. And then I realized that most people did not have the ID card. It is mandatory for you to go to the examination hall with your student's ID card. Not just any ID card, your student's ID card or a provisional ID card which is valid. So people were coming in with the admission letter and proof of registration and other things from MIS. That is not what you need to get. If you happen not to have your student's ID card, the ID card, you can just log into STS and then download a provisional ID card. That's if you don't have it yet. Think it's still, the students are still collecting their ID. So the academic affairs, knowing how important you need your ID during examination, they have made provisions for you to get a provisional ID card. And you just don't need a provisional ID card, you need a provisional ID card which is valid. So I think the current provisional ID card expires on the ending of May. So I think 30th May, yes. So if your ID card is not expiring on 30th May or after 30th May, you cannot use your provisional ID card during exams. That's why I said you need a valid provisional ID card. So make sure you have your student ID card or a valid provisional ID card with you before you get to the examination hall. If you don't have it, you will not be allowed to write the exams. This one, there is no negotiations on that. You will not be allowed to write the exams. Even if you start the exams and then the invigilator notices that you don't have an ID because you'll have to sign attendance, you don't have an ID card or a valid provisional ID, you wouldn't be allowed to continue the exams. You just end it. You will not be allowed to continue the exams. Another important thing you need to note when you're writing the exams is you need to sign the attendance. For every exams, there is attendance that you need to sign. Usually it's accompanied by your picture. So the invigilators check your ID card and then confirm with the attendance to see if you are the one writing the paper, and then you would sign. If you do not sign the attendance sheet, even if you've written the exams and then there is a problem where they need to find out, let's say your paper is missing or your result is not in, and you go to the department, you follow up and they tell you your paper is not here, which would in other words mean you did not write the exams. It is the attendance sheet that would confirm that you wrote the exams. So you must sign the attendance sheet. I know the invigilators will keep on stressing on who haven't signed the attendance yet. You must sign the attendance before you leave. If you do not sign the attendance, there will be trouble for you. So please do not sign the attendance. And I think I've talked about the most important things that you need to do. So your ID, getting there 30 minutes before time, don't get there 30 minutes after the exams that you will not be allowed to write, and then you sign the attendance. And then please don't put yourself in trouble. We know these examination rules. If this is your first University of Ghana exam, don't put yourself in trouble. I know people who in attempt to help other people by giving them answers to the questions, ended up being in trouble, and the people they helped could not say anything. If you are caught in examination malpractice, Charlie, it may not be the end for you now, but the end result is never going to be good. So please, you are too smart for that. Yeah, you are too smart for cheating. Don't try to write anything behind your provisional ID on your ties. On your ties. Don't try any form of cheating. Because if you do, when you are caught, your university school fees is going to be wasted, and then you don't even have the peace of mind to. If you are processed to the disciplinary committee or examination council, you will not even have the peace of mind to write the other papers. So don't put yourself in that situation. It is never a good situation that you should put yourself in. And please don't take your phones to the examination hall. Some people actually, the non-residents, yes, because they are non-residents, they quickly come to campus with their phones. They come early, prepare, and then some of them turn their phones off, put it in their pocket. You come to the examination hall. Someone did it. The person may be lucky. The person was not caught. You don't know the luck that will be. You don't know whether the luck will be on your side. So don't try because someone tried. If you have a phone on you, if you get to the examination hall and then you could talk to the security man and he would listen. They usually will not take your phone. But if he would take your phone, please give it to him. Get to the examination hall, write your paper peacefully, and then leave. Don't put yourself into any trouble. University of Ghana doesn't take its examination it doesn't joke with the examination. So if you happen to be caught in any malpractice or anything against the university rules that governs examination, that will be the worst day of your life in University of Ghana campus. And I don't think you would want to find yourself in that situation. So please prepare for your exams, have a free mind. if I get any other important tips, I would just drop them in there. I would post them as a test, so as a community post, so you get to see them. And before you can see community posts, you need to be subscribed to my channel, so please subscribe to my channel. And all the best in your examination. Just give it your best. Exams is important, but don't kill yourself for it. If you don't have to if you don't kill yourself for it too, then results may not be good. I hope you are looking for A's and B's and good grades, but Charlie, don't die because of exams, but you must give it your best. Okay, so all the best once again. See you next time, and subscribe to my channel.